Welcome. My name is Kevin Fulmer. I'm the director of the Alex Brown Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at UMBC, and I'm very excited to see everyone live for the first time in a couple years. So it's in a new space, so thank you for coming out tonight. Tonight we'll hear 6 pitches from our student entrepreneurs at UMBC who are vying for cash prizes to help either launch or scale their business, and appreciate everyone's support for them tonight. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors and some other people. First, Betamore. What a great space, right? Give it up for Betamore. Kimmy, thank you so much. I also want to thank BW Tech at UMBC. Aaron is here, and Will, thank you. And Dave, I don't know if Dave's still here. Okamoka Deep is here, thank you. By the way, great story of entrepreneurship and success from a UMBC student. If you've not been to Okamoka in Arbutus, I highly recommend it. Great coffee, great food, so check it out. Thank you, Deep, and Michael, who couldn't be here. Also, Innovators of Progress, Marcus Proctor, who's here somewhere. Thank you, Marcus. We'll be hearing from Marcus later tonight. The Baltimore Angels, appreciate their support of this event. Also, Greg Simmons and his team at the Office of Institutional Advancement. We've got a couple of people here. Stacy is here, Susie's here. Thank you all for yours and your team's support. Clap it up, yes. I also want to publicly thank Vivian Armour, who's been a tremendous help for me as I've transitioned into this new role, and also a big help with organizing this event alongside our wonderful student interns, Madeline Songer. Clap it up for Vivian and Emily Iyer, who's in the back there filming. So finally, I want to thank and introduce actually Greg Cangialosi, which, as you can see by the name of the competition, is an important person and has been a big supporter of this competition in our 9th year. And I'd just like to welcome him and have him say a few words before we get started.
Wow, thank you, Kevin. I can't believe it's been 9 years. It's like I said, I was going to say 7 or 8, but the last 2 are on Zoom, and it's been a long time. And I'm really excited tonight. Well, first of all, let me say thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you all to the judges. Thank you to the mentors. Thank you to the students. This is what it's all about, right? Like, the genesis of this whole program was really kind of came out of my experience in my journey of entrepreneurship. You know, I came to UMBC. I was an emergency medical technician when I was 16. I didn't know really anything. I thought that's what I wanted to do. I signed up for emergency health services. Got halfway through the program, realized I don't want to be any paramedic or a healthcare administrator, so I got my degree in English. I just knew I had to read and write, and then I ended up, on a really long journey of becoming a technology entrepreneur. Ran a company called Blue Sky Factory for 10 years, and I was talking to a couple of students, and this is all about like making your dreams realized, and knowing that you have the power within you to do that. And so after I sold the company in 2011, Greg Simmons came to me and said, hey, what do you think about doing something for the students at UMBC, some kind of program? And I said, let's do it with the Alex Brown Center. Let's create an entrepreneurship program that kind of tails off all the other great programs, the idea competition, the pitch competition. Is that what it's still called? Idea competition. And then for those of the students that really want to get serious about entrepreneurship, let's put a program together that connects them with mentors, really helps them dial in their pitch, get to their value proposition, and let's give them some seed capital, although I know it's not a ton of money, but it's some money, and get them into the community and show them that like Baltimore has a vibrant ecosystem. So what's really exciting for me, and Vivian knows this, is that this is the first time this event's ever been off campus. So welcome to Betamore, welcome to City Garage. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to keep babbling on, so I'll stop, but this is so great to see everybody in person. Again, thank you for supporting the event, thank you for putting it on, and I can't wait to hear all these pitches because I'm excited. Thank you.
So without further delay, I'm going to invite Vivian up, who's going to be the master of ceremonies tonight, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
And it's a job I love, by the way. So it is great to see you and welcome. And I just want to say a couple more words about Greg, because from the very beginning, what he did was he was a speaker in our speaker series. He developed and taught a marketing class for us. He's hired our interns. He has sponsored this competition. So Greg, you've really modeled the way, and we thank you very much. So tonight I want to talk about the competition a little bit. It's something we've done for 9 years. We introduce at the beginning of every spring semester. So we call out the students, submit your ideas. We get a ton from both our grads and our undergrads. And then we send those ideas to a team of judges, external judges. And they have the hard job of evaluating the ideas and determining who comes to the final competition. And we have 2 tracks this year. We have a technology and innovation track, and we also have a social entrepreneurship track. So what you're going to hear tonight are the top 3 ideas in each of those tracks. And everybody tonight walks away a winner. The first place winner will get $3,000. The second place winner in each track will get $2,000, and the third place winner will get $1,000. So everybody walks away a winner tonight. I am extremely proud to introduce these judges because they all have a special connection to UMBC. And I'm going to start with Mustafa. And Mustafa was actually a PhD student at UMBC. And while he was a PhD student, he submitted an idea to the CBIC more than once, and the second time you won first place. And that idea from the CBIC has become Aztec Diagnostics, and his company is currently at BW Tech. And this is just an example of what can happen, so students pay attention. We could be launching you tonight, and we would be delighted to. So it's what this is all about. We want to help you accomplish your dreams, and we want to provide any support that we can. Our next judge, Jerry Hartung, has a very different connection to UMBC. He and one of our alums, Scott Weber, actually were co-founders in a company called MedIQ, which was located at BW, and is still located at BW Tech. And they've gone on to sell that business. He's a serial entrepreneur, business advisor, a director, an investor, and when we reached out to him, he said, sure, I'd be happy to be a judge. So thank you for being here, Jerry. I haven't seen you in so long. And the last person, another connection to UMBC, Gary McDaniel. Gary's a serial entrepreneur. He's done so many different things, started so many different companies, and he is currently the CEO of AirPhoton, which happens to be located at BW Tech. And he has been a speaker in our speaker series, and Gary, thank you for being here too. It's so good to see people in person and not in masks, isn't it? So thank you, judges, and I don't envy the job you have tonight because you've got to pick the winners, so I'm glad it's you and not me. So with that, I'd like to proceed to what we're here for, to hear these ideas. So let me talk about how the program's going to play out. So we're going to present the first 3 ideas in the innovation and technology track. They're going to go right behind, one after the other. Then we're going to stop, and then the judges will have an opportunity to ask questions to make sure they understand, clarifying questions, and it also gives the students an opportunity to learn how to think on their feet. At the end of that 20-minute or so session, we're going to move on to the social impact track, and they are going to give their presentations back to back. And then we will stop again for the judges, and they will ask their questions. And at the end of that period, we will invite the judges to move back to a conference room where they're going to have to figure out who gets first place in each track, second place, and third place. While they are doing that, we will introduce Marcus, who you just heard a little bit from Kevin, but he was a student at UMBC. He was part of CBIC, so he knows what you're going through. And he has gone on to start something called Innovators of Progress, which really provides wonderful opportunities, not just for our students, but entrepreneurial students in the region. So we are so proud of our UMBC students. And once a retriever, always a retriever. I am a retriever, a long time ago, but still a proud retriever. So with that, let me turn this over to the students, because this is what you're here for. Okay, Haven Cloud, you're on.
Good evening, I'm Mahmoud Shab.
And I'm Fahil Cameron.
Welcome to Haven, the world's first decentralized, secure, and privacy-focused cloud storage platform. Today's big question: would you allow a stranger to enter your home and look through your personal belongings, scour through your photo albums, business statements, and tax documents? Most of us would say no, yet we do it every day. We might not do it every day physically, but we do it digitally. Ask yourself, what happens when you upload your private photos, videos, and documents to the cloud? Where does that data go, and more importantly, who has access to it? We blindly trust big companies to keep our data secure, and they do, right? Because these companies control our data, they have access to it at all times and even sell it to third-party data brokers. Think you're safe? Many people thought the same until news broke out that Apple was forced to fire over 300 employees for listening to private Siri conversations, including people having sexual intercourse. This is why many people are switching to private alternatives of their everyday applications. Users are switching from Google Chrome to Firefox and Brave, from SMS and WhatsApp to Signal and Telegram, from Google Drive and Dropbox to, well, what is the alternative?
We set out to build just that. Introducing Haven Cloud, the world's most secure and private cloud storage platform. You see, like the other cloud storage services, Haven lets you upload files, photos, and videos to the cloud. But what makes Haven unique is our state-of-the-art decentralization, encryption, and privacy-focused guarantees. Let's explore how this works. Decentralization, the same technology that makes blockchain and cryptocurrencies possible, delivers a new standard for privacy and security. We use this technology to split each file into pieces and then distribute that onto a global network of 80 servers around the world. What this means is that no one but you can put your data back together. Essentially, decentralization ensures that outages, downtime, and data breaches are a thing of the past. For security, Haven uses AES-256, an encryption protocol used by the world's most secure institutions to store your files securely on our servers. Because Haven is end-to-end encrypted, neither Haven nor any other organization can view your files. Haven is also the most privacy-focused cloud storage platform in the market. Other cloud storage services, such as Apple's iCloud, Google Drive, and Dropbox, per their own privacy policies, admit to collecting things like the web pages you visit before coming to their sites, browsing and search history, location, and much more sensitive information. Here at Haven Cloud, we have a zero compromise privacy policy. What this means is that we collect zero data. Yes, zero. For more information, you can visit havencloud.io/privacy-policy. Here's a breakdown of our product roadmap. We began development in May of last year. Last December, we developed and launched the Haven Cloud cryptocurrency token, which is live and tradable on the Binance blockchain. Just last month, we finished the development of our platform, and we've just publicly launched a beta for our mobile app. Over the upcoming months, we plan to begin development of our web platform, integrate cryptocurrency payments for users that are looking to remain completely anonymous, and then look towards business-to-business services by the turn of the new year.
Our market is a hybrid between cloud storage, privacy, and security. Cloud storage are services like Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. Privacy security are services such as Signal, Telegram, and VPNs, and is rapidly increasing year over year because people are starting to wake up to their lack of digital privacy. Haven is the bridge between these two industries, providing cloud storage for those who need privacy and security for those who need cloud storage. Our 10% conservative market size estimate gives us a potential user base of 160 million. Capturing even 1% of that would give us a user base of 1.6 million. Among that 1% are human rights activists around the world who need to share and safely store their data when they are in the field. When stacked against popular cloud storage services, it's clear to see where Haven shines. On top of the industry standard free storage and multi-device sync, Haven is the only to guarantee end-to-end encryption, decentralization, and complete privacy. At Haven, we also believe privacy and security are a human right and not a premium you should pay for, which is why our free tier will always be free and includes all of our features. For users that need more storage, we offer a 50 gigabyte upgrade option from the 1 gigabyte that allows users to store up to 50, and then we will build upon that in the future. For users that want to be completely anonymous, we will soon implement crypto payments so they can pay for our premium option through that.
Here's our total expenditure. To date, we've spent $6,500 across product and business development to launch a beta of our platform. Then, we have $144 of fixed monthly operating costs for our platform's infrastructure and support. We've created an example with 1,000 premium users to show investors the cost of operating Haven for 1 month. We can see that even if users maxed out their storage capacity, Haven still profits $2,500 per 1,000 monthly users, making Haven's economic value a swift return on investment.
Here's the Haven team, 2 undergraduate students trying to make the world a better place by building a platform we truly believe in. But we're not alone on this journey. Haven is part of BW Tech's New Venture Fellowship, Johns Hopkins Fast Forward U, and Towson Startup Accelerator.
We've created a detailed list of projected expenses over the next 8 weeks. Our short-term ask is $5,000. Remember, we were able to launch a beta of our platform with just $6,500 in sweat equity. The CBIC's non-dilutive funding would greatly assist us in financing 3 major milestones over the next few months, including tightening our security through penetration testing, scaling the mobile app through post-launch marketing, and beginning development of our web platform. As we've shown, we know how to make every dollar count.
The only question left is, would you pay $3 a month to remove that stranger from your home and take back control over your digital privacy? Thank you for listening.
And we hope you consider Haven as the alternative to your cloud storage needs.
All right, well, first and foremost, thank you for your time. My name is Basile Udo, and today I'll be presenting my company, Zeti. We're changing the act of providing a service to providing an experience and building a community. So the overarching problem in the restaurant industry is that there are increases in percentages. There is about 40% that's being taken currently by marketing, servicing, and sales fees from these third-party delivery platforms. In accordance to that, there is a huge gap that's being built between the customer and the merchant that these third-party platforms are creating. And with that, we also have this customer acquisition cost, that 40%, that gets tacked onto every single order. So our overall goal at Zeti is to increase our restaurant partners' platform, their profits over time, and increase, or rather, close the gap between the customer and the merchant. So with our platform, that's exactly what we're doing. We're creating a solution to directly connect the restaurant partner to their customer, and we're doing that with the gamification model that includes NFTs. So we're using NFT to increase customer engagement, customer retention, and we're doing that also to provide an additional revenue stream for our partners. We also have the ability with our gamification models to create incentives for pickup orders and dine-in options. So this helps with the delivery platforms and decreasing that gap that these restaurants are currently facing. So you might be asking yourself, why would we want to use NFTs? What are NFTs? What is their significance, right? So with NFTs, these are non-fungible tokens that are unique digital assets that are supported on the blockchain. They allow for the recognition of ownership and identification of wealth solely on the internet. So what we're doing is we're allowing individuals that use our platform to transfer ownership benefits and community perks that are associated with their prospective restaurant. So you might be asking, well, what about gamification? How does that factor in, right? Well, gamification is a proven method for customer engagement. And here we see Boston Retail Partners did a study that says about 9 out of 10 retailers will incorporate gamification within the next 5 years. And with that, about half of those will utilize that into a loyalty program of some kind. So we're a bit ahead of the curve here. And really what we'll see here is a quote from Mr. Mark Cuban that states, you can sell virtually anything digital as an NFT. And in regards to the blockchain space, the upside is potentially unlimited. So we actually can see that here when we take a look at these numbers on this page. Okay, cool. So when we look at Q1 of 2020, there was a modest $7.24 million in sales volume for NFTs. However, once we enter 2021, the number increases to $1.23 billion. Once we round out the year and we enter Q4, that number skyrockets to $11.6 billion. So there is a lot of upside, and there is some validation to Mr. Cuban's statements. Right now, we'll walk through a quick demo of the platform. So here's the web model. I'll walk us through a quick transaction. We will see just some NFTs that are being housed on our platform. This is just an overview of what we do. And here are just some familiar names. And we'll walk through a quick transaction that is completed through a payment processing service called Stripe. So once we finish this transaction, there will be a wallet-generated code that is present, and that wallet-generated code will allow us to redeem our deal. So I will now walk us through the consumer application. Here's just a list of our communities. We'll see just our rewards dashboard, access the Apple Wallet. We can see how we can order on the platform as well. And from there, we will also see an example of a gamification model where we'll be upgrading an NFT. So here we have Thai restaurant available. We'll upgrade through this platform, and we go through an external browser. We have access to now do the confirmation of transaction. And now we've upgraded our NFT. So the definitive benefits for the consumer include the ability to resell NFTs, access to community perks and ownership rewards, and also the overall platform security. In regards to the restaurant, there are a number of benefits. However, the most definitive benefits include increased customer engagement and retention, also the gamification model, right? Because with gamification, we can allow our customers and our restaurants to create an economy. So when we have these unique gamification models, there is a way for reselling the benefits to be increased or decreased based on influx of interest for a particular restaurant community. Additionally, there's a majority profit allocation that's being directed to the restaurants, and this majority profit allocation is also tied to a secondary sale where there will be a royalty that is tied back to the restaurant, and that is a percentage of all of the proceeds that are going to that sale. So in terms of our economic model, that is predicated on two things: our point of sale subscription as well as our transaction fees. So we will be integrating with Square point of sale systems, and we'll use that to garner our first bit of customers, and we'll be charging $100 a month for that platform, for those transactions rather. And for the platform transactions, we will be charging 20% a month, and that is in regards to NFT transactions. Yeah, in terms of timeline, we have some momentum going for us right now. So currently we've been accepted into the I-Corp program at UMD. Through that, we've been able to do systematic customer discovery. Next week, we'll be pitching this at Shore Hatchery in Salisbury University. From that point forward, we will then continue to test and validate our product, and we'll be launching our pilot program in July of this year. We'll actually be launching with Okomoko. They'll be working as one of our beta sites. And from that point, we'll continue to do testing and officially launch our platform in September of this year. So we've done our homework, and we've seen some customer segments in some markets that we are integrating with. So currently we have the loyalty program space that we're aware of. We are also aware of the players in the NFT marketplace space, and we're integrating the majority of their biggest features to create our robust product. Yep. So again, these are the ways that we're differentiating ourselves from these platforms, and we are actually the first NFT platform to integrate loyalty program benefits, ownership rewards, online orders, as well as reservations. And yep, we're confident that we can do this because of Zeddy's robust team, and I've known these guys for a long time, really bright, really talented, really motivated. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for your time, and I appreciate it all. Thank you.
Introducing Crypto Briefcase. Everything you need all in one place. Firstly, let's introduce this new market that is taking the world by storm, and that is Web3. So Web 1 was to read, the very early stages of the World Wide Web. Web 2 was to write to your friends and family for the very first time. Great examples of this being Facebook and Instagram. Web 3 is to own. Now you may be wondering, what does it mean to own? Well, ownership comes in the form of non-fungible tokens, otherwise known as NFTs. NFTs are an individual's proof of digital ownership hosted on the blockchain. NFTs have their own unique identification code, while anything can also be an NFT, whether it's a sneaker, it's a house, it's a shoe, anything. And if Nike themselves released their first NFT last week, of a digital sneaker hosted on the blockchain, and many of the top companies have begun to get into NFTs. Now, what does also mean to own is to own can also come in the form of cryptocurrencies, known as digital assets. What are cryptocurrencies? A decentralized digital currency hosted on the blockchain. Why should you be concerned? Well, as of recently, many of the top investors have begun to invest in cryptocurrencies, along with President Joe Biden signing an executive order for the government to examine cryptocurrencies, along with come up with a solution for cryptocurrencies. Now, as we can see, this market has been exploding over the past 2 years. OpenSea, being one of the largest NFT marketplaces, just this month reached 1.5 million registered users with at least one transaction. In early January, that number was only 30,000. Along with this, $21 billion in NFT sales alone last year in 2021, $11.6 billion of that coming from Q4 of 2021. Now, what is the current problem? Well, the current problem is that many traders have to resort to Excel or other portfolio tracking tools. Excel is rather tedious, also has a large learning curve where only the smart users can maximize its capabilities, along with it is not automated. You must enter each of your transactions manually. Along with this is having all of your tools scattered across different sources, so it's on valuable time. In my own experiences, this is what a common desktop will look like. You have tons of tabs open, tons of bookmarks, and this causes an error in productivity. You cannot be productive with having all of this on multiple screens. And with Bitcoin being so volatile, you must remain on top of the markets at all time. In early 2012, the yearly low of Bitcoin was $4. In 2021, it hit an all-time high of $68,900. So, you may be wondering, what is our solution? Well, our solution is Crypto Briefcase, an all-in-one user interface supplying portfolio and other Web3 investment tracking needs. Crypto Briefcase puts all of your tools on one spot, so you no longer have to go from tab to tab, website to website to get to where you need to be.
So who are our competitor? So this is our main competitor, CoinStats. They have around 1.5 million users, and all you can do on CoinStats is really just track your crypto. It's very lagging. You can go to the next slide. CoinStats is notorious for having a lacking customer support, and their claim to be a true all-in-one is really not true. It's just they can only track crypto. So with their laggy UI, it's not sustainable for a portfolio management. You want to be as fast and quick as possible. With crypto being one of the most volatile assets, you really want to be on your stuff.
Introducing our team. So my name is Talon Schroeder. I'm currently a computer science major at UMBC, and I also founded my own company called Talon Capital LLC, which is an e-commerce company. And along with that, I have 4 years of crypto trading experience and 2 years of examining the NFT markets. Along with this, I've worked alongside many software startups who are currently in the Web3 space.
My name is Noah Mazri. I'm studying computer science at UMBC. I have 2 years experience as a software dev and an NFT and crypto enthusiast. I'm also a blockchain novice. So, our target market is around 106 million different people, and that produced an income of $1.8 trillion at current market cap. So our short-term obtainable market is around 50,000 users, and we got this grabbing a small percentage of our current target market. So what's our vision? Well, Crypto Briefcase is more like a productivity tool, but for traders. We want to have be as efficient as possible, and with that, we're going to be a free app with a $19.99 subscription optional that unlocks features venture capital features. So with our use of funds, our main dedication is going to be towards product development. We want to push out a quality product in an efficient time. 15% towards new hires, because we really want to be open to hiring new people. You can't just be locked in a close, small team.
To talk about a little bit of our marketing is we're taking a different approach of marketing. A lot of the on Twitter, there's this thing called communities, where people talk about different communities, whether it's the NFT community, the sneaker community, or possibly the financial community. Our goal is to get into that NFT community as deep as we can. From here, you can build a huge target audience. And within that marketing, there's even a free way to gain users, and that is through Discord. You can join these communities that have hundreds of thousands of members, all eager, looking for new products to buy to increase their profits. And that is why you should be a part of the future with Crypto Briefcase.
So judges, it's your turn now. You've got 20 minutes for this segment of the program to ask questions of any of the teams. Come on up front. You get a question, or do you share?
So this question is for Haven. On your model, you said you have a base model that's zero cost, is that right?
Yes, so we have a free tier. So we have a freemium model. We have a free tier like all cloud services do. We provide all users with 1 gigabyte of free storage. And for users that need more data, they can upgrade to our paid tier for $3 a month, billed annually, $4 a month, billed monthly, and get 50 gigabytes of storage.
And with the size of the marketplace and what you think you're going to bring in of users, what percentage do you think will upgrade?
Yes, so usually if we're tracking the statistics of current cloud storage providers, it's a bit under 10%, but the perk to that is that we have a very low overhead, so it costs us to provide a gigabyte of storage for anyone, it costs about 2 to 3 pennies, so it's kind of really a loss leader. We're not really making money off the free users, but because we believe, obviously the platform provides them that service, about a bit less than 10%, 8 to 9%, of cloud storage users like Google Drive, Dropbox, etc. will upgrade, and because of that, we'll make the majority of our money with the premium version.
I think with the marketplace, you said you thought you were trying to get about 10% of that marketplace. Is that right?
So the way that we broke it down is we used a conservative estimate of 10% of each market. We took 90 million from the cloud storage and 70 million from the privacy and security, combined that into 160 potential. But then we said, even being able to capture 1% of that market is still a user base of 1.6 million users.
And to build off of that, the reason that 10% is conservative is because the privacy and security industry amasses a user base of 700 million. The non-conservative estimates are that half of those people use cloud storage, so we can have an upward bound, an upper limit of about 300 million potential users, but we keep it conservative kind of for worst case scenario, and we have probably about a market of 160 million. If we capture 1% of that and 1% of those are paying, that's about 160,000 paying users.
This one's for Zeddy. One of the things I wasn't clear about from your presentation was your go-to-market strategy, how you're going to reach your customers and promote your service to them.
Absolutely, yeah. So we will be integrating directly into Square's point-of-sale system. So right after I complete this competition and I do the Short Hatchery competition, we will use that capital to recruit a Square developer. We will then get in contact with Square Up's development team and partnership team, and we will then work with them on a solution to getting onto their app marketplace. So we have been looking into specifically Square. We wanted to have a focused approach before doing Square, Toast, and all the other platforms. So that's where we're starting, yes.
Okay, and do you see that as being a potential exit later down the road?
Potentially, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think this is. All right. So for Haven, do you know Filecoin or Storage.io?
Yes, so Storage.io and Filecoin, they're both B2B integrations for backend. We're actually using Storage.io's infrastructure on our backend to provide B2C support to people on the mobile apps.
Okay, that makes sense. And so I went on your website and I kept putting in my email and I downloaded the app and I wasn't getting anything. So if you can tell me if there's like any technical difficulties or how I can make it work.
Sure. Yeah, so if you go onto our website where you put in your email address, what it does is it invites you into our beta platform. And then from there, we go in and we have to invite you into the system using your email address. And that's when you're going to get an email link. So if you have an iPhone, you have to download an app called TestFlight. Users on Android it'll automatically just download to their device. But essentially, right now we have 30 early adopter spots that are available. This is because we wanted to, in an early beta platform, you have to manage, you have to work with people every single day. You have to, kind of resolve their bugs and stuff like that. So right now we have 30 early adopter spots that were filled up, and we're considering expanding that to an extended beta as we, get more bugs or people have. So we have this thing right now called a community request feature, where anyone who's a part of our early adopters program, they can request features and we'll put them in before the first version of the app.
And to kind of reiterate to that, the reason we kept it at a small number is because we need to keep track of those bugs ourselves, and we're only 2 individuals. So the early beta program, we can only reserve it to a small number of people to keep track of everything and fix everything that needs to be done. It just so happens that it lined up, we released the beta as this competition was happening. If it was 2 weeks later, we would have had a more public beta. If it was 2 weeks earlier, the beta wouldn't have been out, but that's how it is right now. So it's kind of a per invitation.
Gotcha. And I have a question for Crypto Briefcase. So I was trying out again to see your product, and what I did was I bought a laughing shark with a cat hat, and it just went directly to my Coinbase account. So that's like, how are you differentiated from Coinbase in that case? And the second question is, can you trade on your platform, or is it just to track your portfolio?
Well, to answer the second question first, is what we plan to do is use APIs to actually connect to the different brokerages where people do trade. So instead of having to trade on our own platform, what our tool does is it analyzes your trades that are done on other platforms by connecting to them. So any trade that you make on those other platforms, it'll then reflect in your portfolio. It'll be logged, and you can see that profit you made or possibly that loss.
Okay. And how about Coinbase? Because my NFT just went to Coinbase. So how are you different in that case?
Oh, so are we different? So, wait, repeat that. Can you reword that a little bit?
All right, so I went on eBay and I bought a laughing shark. And it just took me to my Coinbase account, where I track usually my crypto. And now I can see my NFTs as well.
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't that be similar to what you guys are doing, or did I misunderstand?
So what we're doing is, so a lot of people, there's different marketplaces for these NFTs. One of the biggest being OpenSea. Coinbase actually just begun supporting NFTs.
Yeah.
But our idea is that to actually analyze your entire portfolio in one spot, instead of having to go into both Coinbase and then OpenSea as different sites, instead all that data will then just be printed on Crypto Briefcase instead. So it'll also display a little bit of analytics talking about the floor price. Floor price is the base price of any NFT.
Gotcha. And can you tell me why I lost so much money already on this?
Well, like we kind of talked about in the presentation, things are very volatile in this market, and you either make a lot of money or you lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question here for Haven Cloud. I guess I saw you had your costs and things, and you were charging. You said it cost like $144 a month. I'd like to know how you do that.
Yeah, so that's our infrastructure and support costs. So those are things like having enterprise emails, stuff like we've set up VPNs and stuff for our own security, antiviruses, stuff like that. Those are fixed costs that are month to month.
Right.
That's also for stuff like our initial server that we have and our database. The bulk of the expenses are going to come from the object storage and the data bandwidth from when users are actually uploading content onto our platform.
So the 144 is a reasonable number then, based on what you're doing.
So the 144 is the set fixed cost no matter how many users we have. The additional costs are per user. So for example, if you have a paid user that's paying us $3 a month, well, about 50 cents of that is going to go to paying for the infrastructure that they're using.
Okay.
The 144 is fixed no matter the user base.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So question for Crypto Briefcase. I might be the wrong guy asking this question because I carry this thing called cash. I'm not sure. It's green and it folds. But just curious, you were talking a little bit about your competition. Can you, but I may have missed who do you consider your biggest competitor?
CoinStats.
CoinStats, and
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about them and how
Yeah,
they
so
operate?
CoinStats, their main feature is wallet importation. So you can import all your different crypto wallets. If you guys don't know what a crypto wallet is, essentially, your currency is stored in something called a wallet, and there's dozens and hundreds of different wallets, all supporting different cryptocurrencies. So what CoinStats does is you can import those wallets onto their website, and you can view all your different wallets on there.
So Basil, I actually have a question for you. So you have an impressive team, but I wasn't sure which one of you was actually going to code it, like the technical founder.
Right. Well, as of late, I've been spearheading the technological development. My background is in biochemistry, but once I had the idea, I wanted to make sure that we can make it a reality. So I hunkered down, made sure that I learned what I needed to learn to get it started. And right now, we're actually scouting for a software developer to join the team. But the guys that they're actually in the crowd here. But the guys that I had on the team are some of the guys that I've had some previous successes with. One guy I actually have a biotech publication with. Another guy, we worked at my last startup, and he created a lot of push material, compelling and engaging content that was also included in our Kickstarter campaign that led to a $184,000 campaign. So, I made sure that I had a well-developed team that could help me get through this journey, and we're going to continue to push forward as we add a tech lead.
Do you have like a beachhead market, like an entry market? Because like I know McDonald's, they have their like own NFT tokens and whatever, all that stuff. So are you gonna like target smaller brands, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what you're referring to is the McRib NFT that McDonald's had launched last fall. And with what they're doing, they haven't yet defined a clear direction for how they will go and capture their entire market. But what we're doing is targeting smaller restaurants, local restaurants, those that are the pillar of their community, so that we can engage those individuals that are interested in supporting and being an ambassador for those restaurants. And what we're doing is just making sure that we can build as much community as possible with the foundation that's available.
Would you say like could DoorDash be a competitor to you guys? Because like you can order food with your app.
That's correct. So I would say that DoorDash presents the opportunity, right? Because they've been able to create the gap between the customer and the merchant. If someone is using DoorDash as a customer, the restaurant actually can't get in contact with that customer. They would have to move through DoorDash. And so what we're doing is directly connecting the customer to the merchant, and we're also enabling the customer to have more experiences, and we're incentivizing pickup orders and dine-in options as opposed to DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub, which are really pushing for the delivery. So,
Very cool.
absolutely.
Thank you, students.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Chapman, and the name of my venture is Seeker. So just a little bit about who I am. So I am a senior mechanical engineering student who goes to UMBC, and I'm an aficionado of RC cars and drones. I have been a habitual volunteer in my community since high school, and it has given me the opportunity to experience many different disabilities, or learn about many different disabilities. Which brings me to the problem. Between 6 to 10% of the kids in the United States are afflicted with the condition known as dyspraxia. Dyspraxia, which is a condition that inhibits a child's fine motor skills, has a range of complications. These complications may range from anything from high-functioning individuals who may have issues writing their name or walking in a straight line, or low-functioning individuals who may have difficulty moving anything except their head. As a result, all these individuals experience a loss of independence as well as feeling a sense of isolation. Which brings us to the solution. Enter Lightseeker, the first generation solution for dyspraxic individuals. This toy, which utilized an array of photosensors, followed a flashlight, and was able to function without the use of a pesky remote control. However, due to an array of concerns, I had to create a second generation vehicle, which I nicknamed Seek. As you can see, Seek is a vehicle that uses an accelerometer as well as a gyroscope to go and fix many of the earlier issues of Lightseeker. However, due to presenting a new set of issues, I had to create the final version, which I have called Seeker. Seeker, which is a device which can go on any remote control vehicle, features a hexagonal design and is able to control any remote control vehicle regardless of what the child wants to play with. So, based on the 6 to 10% of people who experience dyspraxia, there is a possible target market of approximately 33 million people. These individuals, which I have broken into two groups, Group A and Group B, are considered high functioning and low functioning. As a result, as you can see from the pyramid diagram I have above, the majority of these individuals are high functioning. So the competitive advantage of Seeker is, first of all, we have the first mover advantage. I have done extensive research along with other people, and we have been unable to locate any other device or company who's doing something similar to us. In addition to that, we also have the competitive advantage of having a widely varied population market, distinguished customer service, which I hope to be able to offer my customers. I would require minimal staffing in order to produce the product, and I have an absolute dedication to making sure this product is seen all the way through. So as of currently, the only competitors that may appear or actually are here may be other research facilities and hospitals who are interested in creating similar technologies. However, based on the research I have currently done, there aren't any at this moment. So my marketing strategy is to use targeted marketing through paid ads, such as Google and Instagram, partnership with RC companies who already have well-established customer bases, product promotion through influencers such as Daniel Radcliffe, which I didn't even know had dyspraxia. Everyone remembers Harry Potter. Product referrals from doctors and physical therapists who may feel their patients might benefit from this technology, and the network effect, which is just word of mouth. So currently, based on the financial plan I plan on offering two pricing models, with Group A being the high-functioning dyspraxic individuals and Group B being the low-functioning dyspraxic individuals. Group A will have a device similar to the wand you see above to control their device. I plan on offering a pricing of $30 for this device. Meanwhile, Group B, who are the low-functioning dyspraxic individuals who may only have function of using their head, I will offer them a slightly higher pricing model of $35 for the headgear you see above. So the cost to build each of these prototypes was approximately $100 for Lightseeker and $85 for Seek. However, by prototyping my next design with a PCB board, I believe I can get this cost as low as $15 a board. As a result, if I bring in 26,000 new customers every single year, I have a possible revenue of approximately $836,000. So, if you guys decide to fund me tonight, I plan on using 50% of the funds to begin an application immediately for a provisional patent, while the other 50% of the funds will be used to continue my product development. So why should you choose me? Although this is not the tell-all solution to going and ensuring dyspraxic individuals lead normal lives, I believe that my device will go a long ways in ensuring that dyspraxic individuals and normal individuals alike are able to meet some type of common ground and work together well and have fun and enjoy a normal and full life. And if I had to do it, this would be my management team. Me as the CEO, my friend Justice Dutra as the web developer, my cousin Joey Thames as legal counsel, Miss Kelly Robinson as the accountant, Miss Laura Wade as customer support specialist, and my friend Leroy Daniels as the 3D prototyper. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tamara Buchanan. I am a graduate student in the Health Information Technology Master's Program, and I am the founder of Plus One Health. I want you to take a moment and imagine. Imagine you have a large, painful lump under your left arm. You go see your primary care physician for help. They examine you and decide to refer you to a general surgeon. The surgeon examines you and determines they can remove the lump using local anesthesia in an OR because it's more sanitary, and in 15 to 30 minutes max. So you book the appointment, 7 a.m. procedure, you take time off work, and you decide taking a lift home will be the best option. So you get to the hospital and you check in, and the hospital administrator looks at you and says, "Who is here with you?" You respond, "I'm here alone." They then look at you and say, "How will you get home?" You respond, "By taking a lift." They look at you and say, "You're having a procedure with general anesthesia. You need someone to take you home. You cannot use a taxi." So, you're given no alternative. You have no one to call at 7 a.m. in the morning to come and save you. Your appointment is canceled, and you're sent home. We currently live in a society where medical care is one of our greatest health disparities, especially in communities of color. And access to reliable transportation is a part of the problem. That story that you imagine, that happened to me. I never returned to see that surgeon to have that procedure done. I actually did it this past December in an urgent care clinic 3 years later. I realized there is a gap in our healthcare system. There's a lack of non-emergency medical transportation services that isn't connected to Medicaid and Medicare insurance, and also offers the help of a patient care assistant. A 2019 study by Athena Health uncovered that 32% of patients who have one or more no-show appointment does not return to the same practice within 18 months. A 2017 article by SCI Solutions estimates that the United States healthcare system loses $150 billion annually due to no-show appointments. It's time we reimagine the future of non-emergency medical transportation. Plus One Health is a patient care service powered by an app. We help patients easily, securely, and efficiently book transportation services for their medical appointments, and also the help of a patient care assistant. We will market the app to hospitals, nursing homes, universities, and nonprofit organizations that work with underserved communities and underinsured communities. Currently in Baltimore, some of the companies serving this need are Freedom Car, which you can also book for wedding transportations, Maryland Medical Transportation Services, and the mobility transport minibuses, which are run by the Department of Transportation in the state. For the app, we will use GPS technology perfected by ride-sharing companies over the years, and patients will be able to book the help of a patient care assistant along with scheduling their appointments. They will be able to use the app or a phone number, and we will, of course, have wheelchair accessible vans. I currently don't have a demo available, but there will be one in the future. My hope is that by implementing this service, we will help to decrease the cost that hospitals endure due to missed appointments, and most importantly, improve patient care, and hopefully help patients to better adhere to their treatments. We're currently reviewing 3 financial models. The first, short-term contracts, which patients can book weeks at a time. The next, long-term contracts, which patients can book months or weeks at a time and could also be subsidized by the hospital. And the last, pay-as-you-go or daily payments similar to what you use to ride sharing companies. This is a severe problem, one that has impacted me personally, and inspired me to believe that we can make change. I challenge you to help me in reimagining the future of non-emergency medical transportation. Invest your financial resources in helping to eliminate transportation barriers and missed appointments. In the future, if a patient is met with the same fate I was 3 years ago, their service provider, instead of canceling their appointment, will look at them and say, "Have you heard of Plus One?" Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Massey, and I will be presenting Pennies for Point. I am the founding director, and before I start, I want to say I have to give some of the credit for the name to my mother, because she collaborated on it with me, so thank you, Mommy. So you can't be what you can't see. This quote is kind of what fuels our work. Representation is at the heart of everything that we do because there are so many populations in dance that are underrepresented. The mission of Pennies for Point is ultimately to increase the underrepresented population in dance, and we are doing so by providing necessary resources in order for students to train safely and properly. So the first thing that usually goes in public school funding is arts programs. They usually cut them to increase test scores to go towards STEM-related programs, and that is not a good thing. The right side of your brain is responsible for the creative side. It's responsible for your attention, your emotions, your memory, all those things. And when this is underdeveloped in children, it usually manifests as clumsiness, hyperactiveness, anxiety, and the list goes on, as you can see. That's not a good thing. So the benefit of dance specifically is, well, it does develop a significant amount of discipline in children. It increases self-esteem and confidence, right brain development, as I stated earlier, and allows for a creative outlet. So this is the 4 ways we intend to impact the community. Supply qualifying students enrolled at local dance schools with point shoes, leotards, tights, etc. Exposing youth in the community to the art form through workshops and classes. Hosting community events that brings the art form to people that necessarily wouldn't have it otherwise. And then providing these same experiences. So here is a point shoe breakdown. And this is actually my first pair of point shoes ever. But these are dead. They will no longer support anybody's foot. But on average, a pair of point shoes will cost a dancer $65 to $95. And these have to be replaced every 3 to 4 weeks, especially when a dancer first begins training. When they start with a professional, sometimes they go through 2 a show, like first act and second act, so they're expensive. And this will amount to a little over $2,000 a year spent on point shoes alone, and that excludes tuition for your school, that excludes auditions, it excludes the other materials that you need, all those things. The shank that you see right here is what primarily supports a dancer's foot. And once it is dead, you can injure yourself. And here's a fun fact. Your foot is made of 26 joints, 33 bones, and over 100 ligaments and tendons. When these shoes go out, that can be detrimental to the dancer. So we have 3 primary initiatives that we plan on implementing in the community to help support these things. We have partnering with local dance schools, we have Supplies Drive, and our 3rd initiative, From the Studio to You. And this is the team behind all of it. Me, Kayla Massey. We have Ms. Shauna Williams, who's a former professional dancer herself, and she has a lot of work in the community with dance and bringing underrepresented populations in. And then we have Mr. Joshua Gray, who is a Linehan Artist Scholar and a dance major with me as well at UMBC. So partnering with local dance schools. So I know everybody has seen or experienced one person in their lifetime who couldn't participate in the final performance or go on a field trip or something like that because they didn't have the funds to do so. And usually it's not even the kid's fault, it's more so their family can't provide for them. And that is unfortunate and unfair in my opinion. So with partnering with dance schools, we're able to go and contact dance schools with a moderate to high underrepresented population. We will talk to the executive employees of the school and have them compile a list of students that are eligible for such a donation. And this will primarily be point shoes, but will also include leotards, tights, and all those other things. We will go to a partner dance store and purchase the materials at a discounted rate or give the students a gift card to go ahead and purchase them themselves. And from there, the school director will distribute these gift cards or supplies to the specific students. We also are intending to do a supplies drive. Now, supplies drive, the purpose of it is more so to have people come and donate what they want. If they purchase a leotard or tights, they can come to us, donate it to us, and we will dispense them in the community to specific dance students. And then our last initiative, From the Studio to You, and we plan to launch this next school year. So the purpose of this initiative is to bring dance education to communities or public schools who might not have access to it otherwise. So this is our projected model. We have the project lead, Mrs. Shauna Williams, who is the Director of Programming on the Pennies for Point board. She, like I said, has experience with doing these types of initiatives in the community because she did it with the Washington School of Ballet in their Dance DC program, which kind of has a similar mission as Pennies for Point, similar but not quite the same. We are intending to partner with the United Way of Central Maryland to identify neighborhood zones that would benefit from dance education in their community. And we also plan to partner with UMBC Shriver Center to identify public schools in the community as well. And then the dance department will be where we will get teachers. And the materials purchased will be portable bars, Marley floors, portable mirrors, and to fund the teachers that will be teaching. These are some of the organizations that we have partnered with in our first year of launching. This is our fiscal sponsor right now. We have received a grant from the United Way of Central Maryland, and we have also fundraised with another nonprofit. These are organizations that trust in us, and we hope that you will too. Here's a timeline from our first year. On March 17th, we launched, and throughout the year, we have done a lot of things, fundraising and everything, and establishing connections with other orgs. Here's where you can find us. It's our website, our social media, and our contact email. We thank you so much.
So now the judges have their shot again at asking questions of this round of presentations. So if you'll come up here.
This question is for Seeker. I'm sort of missed in the beginning. I understand what you're building, but what does that do for the patient or the person suffering from the disease? What can they do with this, what you're building?
So traditionally speaking, as a lot of people know, RC cars are controlled using remote control. For many people with this condition, they may find it hard to operate this controller due to dexterity issues. So the purpose of this device is to allow the control of an RC car using something similar to the wand you saw up there or the headgear. Not only does this give these children an ability to find new ways to interact with their peers with a device that they enjoy, but it also provides them with some exercise and practice with some of the fine motor skills that they'll find so useful when they get older in life.
Just a comment for you on that. I used to have a cat that would do that. You know, you'd flashlight, the cat would chase the light around the room. It was a lot of fun. But my question is for the +1, and has to do with you're going to have an app to be able for people to do different things. How do you make money in that transaction? Is it a percentage of the transaction or what?
Yeah, so I'm still currently trying to figure out how it will generate funds, and still doing the market research.
Also, a question also for you, +1. So the app will have who would the drivers be, or who's the app going to connect with to do this for people?
My idea is to have my own drivers, my own vans, my own personal care assistants.
And what kind of training would they need?
Right now, I'm still researching that, but I think based on the van, they'll need to learn how to maneuver the wheelchair access and the lifts. But I'm still researching all of that.
Gotcha. So one more question actually for you. So in your application, you mentioned something about the aftercare as well, and I thought that was a very, very good idea, like to have both of them, because I know sometimes, and my wife is a nurse, surgery nurse, so she always complains about this. So often they have no plan for who's going to take care of them. So I think having both services at the same place would be very, very powerful. But have you thought about something like the Uber model, where you have anyone with a car, anyone with a van could do this, or is that not possible?
Yeah, so I have thought about having the patient care assistants use their own cars to pick up patients for their appointments, and if they, schedule to have the patient care assistants continue on for maybe a couple hours or come back a couple days. But I also think it would be beneficial to have our own vehicles.
I have a question for Seeker. Can you tell us a little bit about the technology? Because it looks really cool. Like, I'm not sure how it works. If you can just elaborate.
So for the first one, which was Lightseeker, as I stated, it used a series of photosensors, and essentially the photosensors were picking up variations in the amount of light that was being shined. So every single time you shined a flashlight, the car would know to go that way because there was a variation in the light, and so forth. For the second generation, which was Seek, it utilized the circuit board, which had accelerometers and gyroscopes up there. Based on the direction you turned it, if it was on an XY plane, it would know to move forward, back, left, right, so on and so forth. However, due to the fact that it might be hard for a child with that disability to utilize that type of function, I saw the limitations in that. So the final version, which is Seeker, plans on utilizing and combining both of those technologies into one system. So essentially, the wand is going to work kind of like the flashlight, where it's going to show the direction that the car should go in. There's going to be a printed circuit board inside of it, which will have a gyroscope and accelerometer to be able to detect the position of the actual device. And then based on where you're pointing it, the car knows to move in that direction. So that's the plan as of currently.
Excuse me, my question is for Kayla and Penny's for Point. First of all, a great idea, right? I mean, accessibility is the key for bringing people up, and if having accessibility to dance and other things is a great thing. So I hope you're successful with all this. But I guess my question comes into, for you to be viable, you really are going to rely on donations, and I saw you've gotten some from United Way. What is your plan to solicit donations, and how are you going to go out and raise money to fund your great idea?
Great question. So donations, we're soliciting right now. So with the investment that we received from United Way last November, a lot of those funds will go towards community work in a way, specifically in Baltimore County. With getting other funding, we have a lot of mentor organizations that have kind of helped us with language to try to pitch to banks and other potential investors for this organization, because there are a lot of people willing to fund the arts and arts organizations such as this. So that is how we intend to do it, and of course through family and friends.
So how many kids have you helped so far, and how many do you project to help, like within 5 years, let's say?
Great question. So we actually, like I mentioned, Mrs. Shauna Williams, she did this something similar with the Washington School of Ballet. And that's actually where I trained myself. And that's the school that we're actually partnering with first. And there was about, I believe, 20 kids listed that were eligible for such a donation. And then the head of the school, she was even kind enough to do what I asked and break down priority of the student. Because of course, with us just starting out, we might not be able to fund everybody, but we want to at least be able to give to the people that are in the most need for something. So yes, we're actually following that model of like purchasing gift cards to distribute. We're doing that now with them.
So sounds good. So back to Seeker. So you mentioned 50% of the money you would take home today would go to a provisional patent.
Yes.
Well, have you talked to tech transfer office at UMBC, because they might be able to do it for you for free? That's what I did back a long time ago.
I would definitely appreciate that. Thank you. I was not aware of that, but thank you for giving me that option. It's definitely something I would.
Let's talk. I can make introductions. So, have you also thought about this to be just a toy? Because your target market is 33 million, right? If it looks like a cool toy. No, I'm serious. Like it could.
Well, actually, funny story. So the videos that were in there, they weren't actually of dyspraxic children. They were of normal children, and I took it at my mother's job. She works with children, so I bring it into the classroom. They all have fun with it for hours, and it doesn't work as well as it did when it came in. But definitely, it was definitely an idea to go and expand it to the general market. That's why part of the partnerships is to use it with RC companies. However, due to the fact that this is a very great need for dyspraxic children, I thought it would be more important for it to be at least an initial offering to offer it to that market group of people. But definitely in the future, it's something I hope to expand to. I would be looking to sell this product through direct sales. I will never turn down anyone who wants to buy the product. So anyone who cares to purchase it, I definitely would like them to purchase it.
And if you have PCB designs, send them to me. I can manufacture your first board for you.
Okay.
That's very easy.
Perfect, thank you.
Just a question for pennies for points. You said you're partnering with dance schools, but I noticed in your presentation you mentioned something about public schools. Are you doing something with public schools, and is there money somewhere in the public school system for something like this?
Yes, great question. So I have a meeting with the head of the Shriver Center next Tuesday, which she's going to help identify potential schools that would benefit from us coming in and teaching dance workshops. Yes, so that's the goal for public schools. And then I also am meeting with the United Way, the woman over the neighborhood zones. And she's specifically going to connect me with people in Baltimore County, because they don't, how United Way works, it's kind of what the community wants and not them kind of imposing something on them that they may not want. So she told me that the process is kind of to see how many people would be interested in a dance program And do they believe they would benefit from something like this? Did that answer your question? Okay.
And I have a question for Plus One. I've experienced that myself when I've had to go for procedures, and my wife had to take a day vacation to be able to be there to pick me up and cart me home. And luckily I had her to be able to do that, and she had enough vacation time to be able to do that. But I can see that in many, many cases where somebody just doesn't have that availability, and you know, you have to cancel the appointment, or it's very inconvenient. So I think it's a good service. So I applaud you for that. I think it's needed. I could have used it myself. I guess my question is, though, it revolves around, you know, who do you see as your competitors? You know, there are, you listed a few other people that are doing that, or that similar kind of thing. You know, what's your competitive advantage of what you're going to provide?
Yeah, so I am still doing research, but I did get a name of one company from Greg who's actually doing the transportation and personal care combined, so I will research them to see what they offer and where they're located. But a lot of the companies that I've found so far, whether they're in the Baltimore area or across the US, they work in their local communities. They don't necessarily have an extensive website about what they do other than doing like round trip pickups, and it's a 1-800 number. So I just want to amplify the process and just make it a little easier. So I'll do more research to see who is actually using an app-based model.
So is there anything, like, is it not legal to take Uber home? Or how are you going to do it better? Because like there's like all kinds of Uber cars.
Right, so again, I'm still doing more research, but I haven't found the actual policy, and it of course would vary per hospital that says you can't do XYZ. But in my case, what happened to me, I guess because it was a surgery and I was doing general anesthesia, I needed someone to be with me. Maybe that person can be with me and we take an Uber, but I couldn't just take an Uber by myself. Or at least that's what I was told.
Makes sense.
We have 2 tracks, and we have the winners ready to be announced. So we're going to start with the tech and innovation track. So why don't we just get those folks to come up here. And big round of applause, come on. It's no easy task starting a company. It's no easy task coming up with an idea. It's no easy task, you know, thinking through it and getting it to the next level. And so everyone's done that, in my opinion, and I'm inspired by all of you tonight. So let's get the party started. You ready? Okay, we're gonna go in 3rd place in the technology and innovation track for a prize of $1,000 goes to Zeddy. Big round. Come on up here and grab your check. You can deposit this in the bank tomorrow. Great job.
Kevin was the mentor.
Kevin was the mentor, so here. Gotta show that money. Okay, we got a format. Okay. Second winner for a prize of $2,000. Put your hands together for Crypto Briefcase. So our first place winner, the prize of $3,000. Put your hands together for Haven Cloud.
And their mentor's not here tonight, but he's a UMBC alum.
Okay, awesome. Great job. One more round of applause for all of them. Please. Okay. Social impact track. It's your turn. Keep it turned around. Okay, so here we go. For a prize of $1,000, the third place winner is Plus One Technology.
Their mentor was a UMBC alum.
Great job. And the second place for a prize of $2,000, put your hands together for Pennies for Point.
Their mentor is an instructor in the entrepreneur program.
Okay, so our number one prize winner for $3,000, put your hands together for Seeker.
His mentor, a UMBC alum.
One more round of applause for everybody, all the students, all the ideas, all the businesses.